Let's get along to my first guest. He's kind of a renaissance man. He's writing, acting, producing the upcoming television special Off Camera, but he's also a star of the TV series Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dean Cain. Dean Cain! Go figure. How you doing? It's so nice to see you again.
Absolutely.
I know you've been a busy man.
Whew. Yeah, we work, actually I work today. We work every day, 5 days a week. I've had 2 days off since we started in July, and
filming a big TV show,
Lois and Clark,
the Superman. But you've got all these other things going. That was the amazing thing to me. So you're developing shows and you're writing and you're acting and you're in people's 50th most beautiful and you're annoying. You're annoying me now. You're the guy. You're the guy that my mom says, why can't you be more like that guy?
A few years later.
You know, there's an old saying in Hollywood, if all you can get is Dean Cain, you are fucked. People, I'm just saying, when you are reduced to pinning a badge on the 59-year-old star of The Dog Who Saved Christmas, The Dog Who Saved Christmas Vacation, The Dog Who Saved the Holidays, The Dog Who Saved Halloween, The Dog Who Saved Easter, and The Dog Who Saved Summer, maybe you are in trouble. On the plus side, no need for that guy to wear a mask because the chances of anyone recognizing him are fucking zero.
Dean Cain is a celebrity known for playing Superman on television in the 1990s. After his show ended in its 4th season, his career stalled, and he has not done anything memorable since. Today, he has become a right-wing spokesperson who blames liberal Hollywood for not being hired for major roles.
They've tried to cancel me in Hollywood so many times. If an actor speaks up on something, listen, and for actors, go ahead and speak up or don't. It doesn't matter to me. I would work with Robert De Niro. He's a great actor. I don't like his politics. You know, Rob Reiner, very good director. I don't agree with his politics either, but I would still work with him, and I don't think it works the other way around. Like, I don't think Rob Reiner, and I've met with Rob since, and he didn't hire me, but it could be for many reasons. But, you know, you just sort of wonder, you know, why it's so solid, such a solid wall on one side and not the other.
In this analysis, we will break down Dean Cain's career and let you decide if his claims of discrimination for being conservative are true.
The Facts Hunter.
Becoming a Hollywood celebrity is a dream for millions. However, it is nearly impossible to achieve due to the immense talent and hard work required to break into such a competitive field. So how did Dean Cain manage to land the one role he is known for, yet never secure another significant part in television or film? For Dean George Tanaka, now known as Dean Cain, breaking into the movie business did not require hard work or talent. His mother, a former model and actress, married an actor turned director who cast a young Dean in his films. His first movie was at the age of 10. 1976, Elmer, written and directed by his stepfather, Christopher Cain. He also acted in another of his stepfather's projects, 1979's Charlie and the Talking Buzzard. Cain claims he never considered acting as a real job. His last movie before attending Princeton was 1984's The Stone Boy, also directed by his stepfather, Christopher Cain.
That's when you started taking acting seriously?
But the idea was that I was going to go play in the NFL and write screenplays because my dad was really cultivating me as a writer. The acting part, he didn't want me to be an actor.
Why?
Is that actually his...
Right.
Because it's such a... He didn't want me in the limelight. He didn't want me being critiqued by millions of people. 100%.
Right.
And I watched the mistakes that, you know, Rob Lowe made, and I watched the mistakes that Charlie made, and some of the things, and he was like, you know,
so why did you do it?
Because I thought it was fun. I thought that was a much more fun way. I enjoyed the writing. I love all filmmaking. I like writing, producing, directing. I can just do one or just the other or both or all of them in a film. So the acting was just sort of a way in.
He played football in college and performed well, leading him to try for a career in the NFL. However, a knee injury limited him to an off-season and practice squad membership. Dean Cain often refers to himself as a former professional football player. But how can he make that claim when he spent his only year on the bench without actually playing?
I was a professional football player before, you know, you players, you know, great in practice, but game time starts.
Yep.
As a former football player, I learned humility, I learned teamwork, I learned hard work. And I think those are really important lessons, especially for today's youth.
You are an untrained
I am a former actor. I'm a former professional football player too.
But like you were injured, your knee?
My knee. That's why I ended up in the NFL with the Buffalo Bills, right there.
And then you got drafted and you got hurt.
Free agent,
but you hurt your knee.
That ended my career. I mean, that was it. I mean, once we got to the playoffs that year in November, and they cut me off of injured reserve, which was against the collective bargaining agreement. I sued an injury grievance, which means I know I'm out of the NFL, but I got my little baby undrafted free agent rookie money.
After his failed career as a professional bench warmer, he returned to Hollywood. He claims he started writing scripts, but much like his football career, he couldn't make a living from it. He returned to acting, if you can call it that, and began doing commercials and small TV roles.
Such a short time. I know you started out, it's like commercial guy.
Yeah.
And in just a short time, it's gotten really wonderful.
Well, I did 35 commercials in 4 years. I mean, I sold every product under the sun for a while there. And this is possibly the most humbling experience in the world.
Yeah.
Is going on a commercial audition. Where you go in there, like 4 or 5 guys walk in there, and they go, okay, you have a camera, say your name and your agent, and then you say it, and they go, okay, you guys are all at a party, eating chips and dancing. And all these tough guys are like,
Well, my friend, let me tell you something. Them days is over.
yes, thank God.
Them days is over. Very nice.
From 1989 to 1992, he played minor day player roles in a few movies and TV shows. For those who may not know, a day player is an actor who may or may not have speaking lines. He played a delivery guy in the 1991 TV series Nightingales, a guy in a bar in the movie Going Under, and a role that seemed to fit his real self, the racist Jock Eddie, in an episode of A Different World.
Hey, my grandfather came to this country with nothing. He couldn't even speak the language. But he worked hard and he made a place for himself and his family. Now, why can't you people do the same? Hey, my grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York.
He played this role so naturally that the following year, he landed a recurring character in 4 episodes of Beverly Hills 90210. Now, before we continue, it's important to understand Dean Cain's views on acting, to see why the world even knows this talentless actor. First, let's look at his biography. Dean Cain was born Dean George Tanaka in Michigan in 1966. His biological father was an Air Force serviceman named Roger Tanaka. After Dean's mother discovered Roger was cheating on her, his mother took Dean and his older brother and moved to California to live with her brother and pursue an acting career. She then met an actor-turned-director named Christopher Cain, and the family moved to Malibu, where Dean attended Santa Monica High School. The most inspirational stories usually follow a narrative where the main character faces an uphill battle, and through sheer will and determination, overcomes struggles like discrimination and poverty. That would be a story worth admiration. But this is not one of those stories. Dean Cain is one of the most privileged individuals in the world. Consider this. Santa Monica High School was attended by a host of future Hollywood celebrities. He played baseball with Charlie Sheen and was classmates with Emilio Estevez, Rob Lowe, and Robert Downey Jr. Dean Cain was even neighbors with Sean Penn. Dean Cain did not pursue a career in acting. Acting landed in his lap. His stepfather got him his first movie roles. It was nepotism at its highest. When Cain and his celebrity friends graduated from high school, most of them went on to pursue acting as a career. But not Dean Cain. He thought he was too good for acting. He wanted to be a professional athlete, so he went to Princeton to be a college athlete, choosing a less demanding degree like history, so he could focus on football. As mentioned, after he graduated, he signed as a free agent with the Buffalo Bills. Before the season even started, he suffered a knee injury and spent his one and only year as an injured reserve in 1988, a glorified bench warmer. After failing as a professional football player, he returned home to California. By then, the rest of his friends had already launched successful acting careers. Charlie Sheen had already starred in the Oscar-winning films Platoon and Wall Street. Robert Downey Jr. had been a cast member on Saturday Night Live, and appeared in 80s classics like Weird Science and Less Than Zero. Sean Penn had such a promising career after breakout roles in Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Bad Boys that in 1985, he married pop icon Madonna and even starred in a movie with her. While the film wasn't great, his talent was clear, and he was on his way to bigger things. All of these actors dedicated themselves to their careers and honed their craft through hard work because they genuinely loved acting. Dean Cain, on the other hand, never cared about it. He saw people like Charlie Sheen and thought he could get by just playing himself.
So
I guess that was pretty.
Have the acting thing happen.
So all these other friends of mine started acting. When Sean started acting, when he did Fast Times, I was like, what the? Then I went off to college, and most of these guys didn't go to college. Holly Robinson, Rob Lowe, these guys didn't go to college.
Yeah, their careers took off.
Went off, and so I'm in college, and these guys are all becoming hugely famous.
Were you at all interested? Your dad's doing all these big movies. Go, I want to play a role. I want to do this.
I didn't understand all that yet. I just thought, oh, be a movie star, be like these guys, play cops and robbers.
But like, did you take lessons?
Yes, I did at first, and it was great because there were a lot of great people in my acting class. You know, Costas Mandylor, Talisa Soto, like half the people, 3/4 of the people in the class ended up doing very, very well. I did that, but I didn't love it because it kind of felt like we were psychoanalyzing ourselves all the time and stuff like that. I didn't like that.
What are you feeling right now? What is it? What is your secret? What is your darkest fear?
I don't like that stuff because that's not what happens on everyday things. You need that to go certain places and do certain things. Maybe that works for certain people. Charlie Sheen never took an acting class in his life, but Charlie is just Charlie being Charlie half the time.
Right.
The acting I wasn't jumping up and down about.
Yeah.
But I started taking class, and then when I would go on auditions, I wouldn't get any jobs. When I stopped taking acting class and I said, I'm just going to be me, I started booking commercials like a madman.
So you're telling other actors, don't take class. No, obviously.
That's what it sounds like.
You know what? It works for some people. Some people, for me, it was about confidence. The more plays I did, the more acting class. But there was a point where I was like, I don't want someone to tell me what to do anymore. I want to still have a big part of myself in every role. So I knew when to sort of go, okay, I got a lot of training. I know how to do this now. I'm going to add more of me to everything. So, but you were like, I'm just going to be me. Charlie's doing it. Chris is doing it. Let's move on. So you started booking stuff. What were you booking?
Oh, Budweiser commercials, Dr. Pepper, Diet Coke, Frosted Flakes.
Big money.
Oh yeah, I made 4 years. I did 40-something national commercials. I made a lot of money.
When it comes to acting, this is not a winning strategy. For example, Dean Cain claims he based his interpretation of Superman on Christopher Reeve's portrayal.
When I played Superman, because in my incarnation, Clark Kent was the character and Superman was the disguise. So I just sort of pretended I was Christopher Reeve. I thought he had that great combination of sincerity and strength at the same time. That little wink in the eye, that little twinkle in the eye.
Well, Superman for me was my Superman was Christopher Reeve. When I saw Christopher Reeve play Superman, I was like, that's Superman, right? I was like, that's it. And so when I played Superman, because Clark Kent was our main character and Superman was the disguise that he used, when I played Superman, I basically was playing a character and was playing Christopher Reeve's, my version of Christopher Reeve's version of Superman. That's what I was doing.
But when we put both actors side by side, we can see how Dean Cain could not channel Reeve's earnestness as the powerful yet benevolent superhero.
Good evening, Miss Lane.
I hear you've been looking for me.
All my life. I assume then that the rest of your bodily functions are normal?
Sorry, beg your pardon?
Do you eat?
Yes. Yes, I do. When I'm hungry.
You do?
You seem to have all the parts of a man.
Well, I am a man, Lois. Just like you're a woman.
What's your background? Where do you hail from?
Well, it's kind of hard to explain, actually. See, I'm from, well, pretty far away. Another galaxy, as a matter of fact. I come from a planet called Krypton.
Huh?
Krypton.
Where are you from? I mean, you're not from Kansas, that's for sure.
I'm from another planet. A place called Krypton.
Why are you?
I'm sorry.
I mean, why are you here? There must be a reason for you to be here.
Yes, I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
You're gonna end up fighting every elected official in this country.
Sure you don't really mean that, Lois?
I don't believe this.
Lois? I never lie.
I'm really glad you're here. But, why are you here?
To help.
To help. I need a little bit more of a quote than that. Something like, I have not yet begun to fight, or damn the torpedoes. Something like that. I mean, if you said, I am here to fight for truth or justice.
Well, truth and justice, that sounds good. You can use that.
Dean Cain did not have the acting skills to play anyone else but himself.
We actors want jobs, and I think as good as it gets, it's really hard to replicate human emotion. Because
did you take lessons?
Yes, I did at first. I did that, but I didn't love it because it kind of felt like we were psychoanalyzing ourselves all the time and stuff like that. I didn't like.
You know, Rob Reiner, very good director. I don't agree with his politics either, but I would still work with him, and I don't think it works the other way around. Like, I don't think Rob Reiner, and I've met with Rob since, and he didn't hire me, but it could be for many reasons.
You know, there's an old saying in Hollywood, if all you can get is Dean Cain, you are fucked.
Now, let's go back to 1993. Dean Cain landed the role of Superman on the TV series Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. The show, created by Deborah Joy Levine, was conceived less as a superhero story and more as a romantic sitcom, with Lois Lane at its center. Yes, this was essentially a romantic comedy built around comic book characters, where the superhero often played the supporting role. If that sounds exaggerated, consider this: in most modern Superman movies and comics, the climax usually has Superman saving millions from a catastrophic threat, whether it's Lex Luthor trying to destroy the West Coast with nuclear weapons, or General Zod attempting to rule Earth with an iron fist. In contrast, the season finale of Lois and Clark revolved around Superman stopping Lois Lane from marrying Lex Luthor. To me, that feels more like the ending of a daytime soap opera than a superhero series.
Lois, you can't marry this man.
What's the meaning of this?
The meaning of this is, Luthor, you're through. We have all the evidence against you we need.
In the season finale, Superman was trapped inside a kryptonite cage while Lois Lane was being saved by someone else. Superman could not save the day on the season finale of this TV show because he was not the main protagonist of this show. There are other factors to consider when looking at why Dean Cain landed the role of Superman in a show where the main protagonist wasn't really him. One major factor was the marketing. For a comic book franchise, the promotional strategy carried a sexual undertone that was unusual, even by the standards of the 1990s. Looking at the comic book adaptations of that decade, only two stand out as using sexualized marketing to attract viewers: Lois and Clark and Barbed Wire, the Pamela Anderson movie, which ultimately flopped. The truth is, Dean Cain wasn't cast as Superman because of exceptional acting ability. He got the role because he was athletic and good-looking. In contrast, Lois Lane was played by Terry Hatcher, an actress with both talent and training. She studied acting at the American Conservatory Theater, while also pursuing an undergraduate degree in mathematics and engineering at De Anza College.
Speaking of chemistry, you and Terry Hatcher, just the perfect casting. Was that from the get-go? Did you know that, you would just pair well together?
But our exec producers, they knew. They knew how strong an actress Terry was, and the relationship was driven. I mean, the whole show was driven by Lois Lane. She was amazing. I think she's the greatest Lois Lane of all time. And I just reacted off a lot of the stuff that she did. I mean, she was awesome, and the show really, I have to give so much credit to our producers and our writers and everybody who put it together. It was really, really well done.
The main hook for Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, was a classic romantic sitcom trope, the will they or won't they relationship between the two leads. But that premise only carried the show for the first 3 seasons. By season 4, viewership had dropped, and the series was abruptly canceled, ending on a cliffhanger. After finally getting married, Lois and Clark discovered a baby they intended to raise as their own. That storyline remained unresolved until 2021, when a new Superman series with a different cast picked it back up. After the cancellation, Terry Hatcher went on to have a much stronger career. She landed one of the lead roles in the hit show Desperate Housewives, which ran for 8 seasons, twice as long as Lois and Clark. She also became a Bond girl in the 1997 film Tomorrow Never Dies, starring opposite Pierce Brosnan. Dean Cain, on the other hand, never truly broke out. Despite appearing in hundreds of movies and TV shows, he's not remembered for much beyond Superman. Instead, he often played himself. One interesting note, Cain was always considered attractive and had a high-profile dating life. He dated Brooke Shields while at Princeton, then later Pamela Anderson, Denise Richards, and others. In 1998, he was in a relationship with Spanish model Samantha Torres. Though they never married, they had a child the following year. After their breakup, Cain went through a bitter custody battle that cost him a large sum of money.
But I got into a really very, very expensive custody battle. And in California, they have a thing, it's not called the California Equal Footing Law, but it is, in effect, because I could afford any attorney, therefore so could she, and I have to pay for it. I mean, I remember spending $40,000 to audit my own books so they could find out how much cash I had on hand because they ordered it. That's how I did.
So as much as you were spending on the battle, she could also spend from your pocket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I spent $1.5 million in legal fees to win joint custody of my son. There was a thing they called the tender years clause, which wasn't supposed to come into effect, which is that the mother is breastfeeding for the first 18 months, you can't share custody because she's breastfeeding. Well, his mom stopped breastfeeding after 5 months. That's out. I'm there. She didn't want me to have. She was mad. Whatever. She's, hell hath no fury like a woman, right? That's a woman scorn. Yeah. A woman like a woman scorn. It's times 5. If it's a Latina.
You specifically left out the scorned part.
I couldn't get there.
Like a woman.
It's the white claw. It's just women in general. No, I'm kidding. I'm not bitter.
He eventually gained full custody of the boy, whom he named Christopher, after his stepfather. Why is this relevant? Because it's during this same general period that Cain's political views began to shift. Throughout the 90s, he has said he voted for Democratic presidents, even supporting Al Gore in 2000. But by 2008, he backed John McCain, and by the early 2010s, he was fully aligned with conservative politics.
My son was born in the year 2000. That was a big switching point for me because I really I'd always been searching for my faith and searching for things of that nature and trying to figure out what I really truly believed in my heart of hearts. And then when my son was born, man, witnessing the miracle of life and then having someone be more important to me than me really brought things full circle. And that's when I really sort of dived more deeply into my faith and Christ and paying attention to all those things in a different way. It happens it's tougher when you're younger because your mind is so new. But as you get to experience the life, for me, that's when it kicked in. And that's when I started making a lot more family-friendly and faith-friendly films.
This period also coincided with his declining career. Unlike Terry Hatcher, Cain never landed a starring role in a major movie or a primetime TV hit. His biggest film role was a minor part in the 2003 Denzel Washington thriller Out of Time. On television, his most notable appearance was a 9-episode run on Las Vegas between 2005 and 2006. Beyond that, he mostly showed up in low-budget films and guest roles. His career, politics, and personal life seemed to intertwine. As his looks faded, he lost the heartthrob appeal that carried him in the 90s. Consider this, during that decade, he was dating models and actresses. By 2016, he was appearing on dating shows where average women competed for his attention, with his mother overseeing the process.
So just in case you didn't see the show yesterday, we played a fun dating game where
fun
Dean,
for some of us.
Yeah, fun enough for you. Dean had a chance to choose between 3 beautiful bachelorettes, and this is kind of what made it fun. So the ladies were chosen. I chose one, your mom Sharon, and then our executive producer Tammy Filler. I will say when all 3 of them walked out, we were like, okay, you can do no wrong. I mean, they were all beautiful, kind women. And you ended up choosing your mom's pick. Her name is Erin, and here she is from Los Angeles.
Yeah, you know, normally I wouldn't choose mom's pick. I would think that she would pick the worst. She did a great job. Erin was super sweet, honestly. We had a great time. We went to, what is it, the top of the rocks there? What's it?
Bar 65.
Yeah, Bar 65.
Bar 65 at Rainbow Room.
Yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous. I don't like heights, but that was unbelievable. You're way up there. Uh-oh, it looks like I had a little alcohol.
Well, you loosened your tie a little bit. She looks amazing.
She beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. And she was super sweet. And she knew friends of mine too, which is actually really funny. So we had plenty to talk about. We had a good time. And
by then, Cain's career had hit rock bottom. He no longer had the charisma to carry leading roles or the talent to convince major directors to cast him. Instead, he shifted the blame, accusing liberal Hollywood of discriminating against conservative actors. By the late 2010s, he was doing Hallmark TV movies and, even more embarrassingly, commercials. Not for big brands like McDonald's or Diet Coke, which he did in the 90s, but for hair loss products that paid far less.
Are you tired of living with hair loss? Losing your hair can be devastating and affect not only your appearance, but your confidence. But now with Hair Club, we have the solution that is right for you.
Hello, I'm Dean Cain. And as an actor in Hollywood, I can tell you that appearance does make a world of difference in today's society. A favor and at least call or go online to find out more. I know you will be happy you did.
So why did Cain become so outspoken against Hollywood? Resentment may have played a role. Many of his childhood friends were thriving. Charlie Sheen was making $1.8 million per episode on 2.5 Men. Lowe was landing recurring roles on The West Wing, Parks and Recreation, and Code Black. Penn had won 2 Oscars for Mystic River and Milk. And Robert Downey Jr. had become one of the most famous and wealthiest actors alive by playing Iron Man. So, is there really a political bias in Hollywood? Or is it possible that Cain's own approach to acting was a weakness he never acknowledged?
All them comic books in the background? Yeah,
he played Superman for 4 years, which he was very proud of. Okay.
And I'll give it to him. He was probably cool as Superman. But bitch, you ain't Superman.
Yeah.
You know, I'm on.
The show was decent, I remember.
Yeah, first couple seasons were good.
I mean, I watched it for Terry Hatcher, but I was watching it.
I'm going to show you just, because y'all have seen this already, a lot of you. I'm going to show you just how much Dean Cain ain't got shit to do.
Animals made Louie's father go crazy.
And you're talking too.
Good morning, Bob.
So you still talking? Huh? Are you still talking, you furry little thing?
This fool is in a talking hedgehog movie.
Oh.
A straight-to-video, low-budget special effect talking hedgehog movie.
That is not even like the talking cat.
No, that talking cat at least moved his mouth.
Oh.
There was a little black square down there, a triangle. This hedgehog, they do that shit where they just talk over, they dub it over while the animal just sitting there just looking bored and confused.
I'm losing my mind.
You guys are experts, right?
Si, we are experts. They tried to steal me so they could become rich.
What's the hell, man?
That's depressing,
What
dude.
the hell? That's what Dean Cain is doing.
That looks like a home video.
It does, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like one of those.
Like even a church has better production values than this.
Like they shot this on a phone.
Yeah.
The iPhone 7.
No,
Luckily,
iPhone 3.
TV's Superman was there to save me. That's my story. I hope that you watch the movie, cuz.
And don't worry about it, we won't.
Oh my
Did they actually make the movie?
Yeah.
Man, this got kind of sad.
I'll say this for Dean Cain.
I mean, I'm just. I mean, these guys gotta stop living outside their means, man.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah.
Don't supersize it no more.
So yeah, Fox News, you go ahead and keep calling Dean Cain and getting getting the honest opinion over there.
Maybe the real issue wasn't politics at all, but that Cain never took acting seriously enough to grow as a performer. In recent years, Cain has reinvented himself as a spokesperson for ICE, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency.
ICE has picked up a high-profile agent, Dean Cain,
who played Superman, has announced that was the TV show Lois and Clark.
Yeah.
He is signed up to join U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, in order to support Donald Trump. The federal law enforcement agency now aggressively ramping up immigration raids, as you know, since the president has returned to the White House. So that's the former Lois and Clark star, Dean Cain.
Truth, justice, and the American way. I wonder if he's going to wear a Superman suit and a mask covering his face to arrest people.
I mean, he called the latest Superman film woke after James Gunn, the director of Superman, called Superman an immigrant. How woke is Hollywood going to make this character, is what Dean Cain said.
He was good as Superman, and then he did a few Hallmark movies, and he hasn't done much else. So, and he just moved to Nevada, and maybe he's so MAGA that Hollywood can't handle it, but maybe he needs the money because he can't get hired for movies now.
Well, here's the story with Dean Cain and ICE agents generally. You know, you get a $50,000 bonus if you come out of law enforcement. They have a lot of money. You know, they got $45 billion of just turbocharging their ICE budget. And so they're offering all of these great incentives. They'll pay for your college education. They'll, all of the things that you would associate sort of with military service, they are now folding into becoming an ICE agent. Plus, it's much better money, $50,000 signing bonus. So you've got Dean Cain. We've got a picture of him here. He's put on some weight, as all of us do maybe as we get a little bit older. He's not quite as super as he used to be. He's more man than Superman. Mm-hmm. And as you said, Kim, he's been doing a lot of Hallmark movies. He did like... it's pretty actually entertaining to look at the movies. He did like 5 Christmas movies for Hallmark.
Yeah, sure.
So I was saying to my friends who are really connected to show business, I was saying to them last night when the story broke, I said, gosh, I just can't believe he needs the money. I mean, he's got to have tens of millions of dollars, or at least 10 million or whatever it is. I can't believe that, he doesn't need a $50,000. And they said, he doesn't have any money.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's true or not, but I think, well, look at all these Hallmark movies that he's doing. And they said, those Hallmark movies don't pay anything. Those Hallmark movies they pay so little. The overall budget for one of those Hallmark movies may be $400,000.
Oh.
So think about it. They've got that whole crew, all the other stars. So how much did Dean Cain make? Because I'm trying to explain in my mind. I mean, are you that big a zealot, Dean Cain, that you have to, you want to roast these people who are in this country and working to support their families? I mean, they're working in jobs that are completely innocuous and completely help the economy. Everything, we talked about it before. Healthcare, childcare, agriculture, slaughterhouses. I mean, these are not places that are doing any harm to the economy. And I might also mention these are not violent criminals. They're not connected to gangs. This is none of what Donald Trump promised. So anyway, I'm over Dean Cain, and good luck with your career as an ICE agent.
It's a polarizing move that keeps him in the public eye. On one hand, it alienates fans who oppose ICE's controversial policies. On the other, it aligns him with a political climate where celebrity credentials can translate into political influence. In a strange way, this might be the most logical outcome for Dean Cain. His work with ICE gives him a steady paycheck, a respectable title, and the kind of visibility he's long craved. And perhaps, for him, that restores just enough of the admiration he once enjoyed as Superman. At the end of the day, Dean Cain's story isn't one of political persecution. It's one of squandered opportunities. He was handed the kind of advantages most aspiring actors could only dream of: industry connections, early exposure, and a breakout role as one of the most iconic characters in pop culture. But instead of building on that foundation through craft, discipline, and reinvention, he coasted, relying on charm and nostalgia until both inevitably wore thin. Hollywood didn't blacklist Dean Cain. He sidelined himself. And now, instead of acting, Cain has tied himself to ICE, one of the most unpopular government agencies in modern American history, an institution born out of a controversial administration and widely criticized for its policies. Millions of people have marched in demonstrations against ICE across dozens of U.S. cities, making Cain's choice of affiliation less about heroism and more about clinging to relevance through provocation. The man who once wore Superman's cape has traded the role of a hero for that of a grifter spokesperson, blaming others for a career he never truly fought to save. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, click like and subscribe to support the channel. This is a Facts Hunter. Goodbye for now and take care.